G'day guys. Hello. My name is Alex. I'm doing another recording of me and my experiences. This one's going to be about the first time I had full control over my astral projection. So this is the first time I had complete control of it. Like I didn't just slip out of my body, or I didn't just like fall out and like got spooked out of my body or whatever. Whatever's possible, I guess. Uh, what had happened was I was going down at my old place in Albion Park Rail. I was going down for a meditation, and then my mother decided, since she herself was an energy healer and she had time, that she would give me an energy healing session at the same time. And so from there, bing bang wallet, magic happened. So what had happened firstly was I went down on the table, we had some music playing, and she decided to run my bars. Now, having your bars run in itself is a pretty intense experience because, well, I'll put a link in the description just so you guys can go and see what it is for yourself, because believe me, it's fantastic stuff. You'll love every second of it. I know I have. I've never stopped using it as well. I've always got my bars running, but regardless of that, yeah. So from there, I was just lying down. It was a regular bar session. She started with the power band, went to my like different areas of my head and all that sort of stuff, and we're working through different energetic fields of my body and all that, and what that entails. So this one from the beginning was slightly different because I could feel the energy was amping up quite a lot. The intensities were very strong, very like the sensations were very different, and I was getting them in waves, so it wasn't just like a all over my body. It was a sensation that was coming up and down, almost with my breaths, but not quite. Like it was a similar pattern, but it wasn't attached to it, I felt. And so when I was feeling this, I just had the intention, okay, alright, I'm going to use this one to actually get out of my body, have complete control, and I'm going to have fun. I'm just going to move around, just get it done with. And so with that intention set, I started to really focus on the sensations that my body was going through. So I was lying there and I was feeling my entire body out, like through my mind, like I was building up my body, like my light body, with my mind. Like I know I just said that again, but yeah. And it's pretty fantastic because I ended up attempting the rope method. And I know for a lot of people out on the internet that the rope method is quite useful, quite effective, because it's a visualization of your hands, just pulling out from a rope pulling down on from a rope that's above you, that's to then get you out of your body, to give you the sensations of you being lifted up and out and doing it yourself. And so I know that's very effective, but for myself at that time, it wasn't really doing anything. So like I could feel the sensations, but it just didn't feel like it was hooking up. There was no connector for me. So what I decided to do was I had enough of thinking. I decided to get out of thought completely. And from there, I just laid for a second, then I asked the question, what can I do to get out of my body? And then boof, I had the idea come to me that, why don't you just fall out of your body? Like you hear about it all the time on the internet. Like, oh, I was just in my bed and I rolled over and I fell out of my body. And it's whoa. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna have that experience, those sensations. Why not? Something new. And from there, I was just lying there, and I felt myself fall backwards without any effort, without any hesitation. It was just the sensation followed through by the thought, or the thought came first, and then I just immediately had that sensation with it. And I fell at a 90-degree angle, but as I fell, it was almost like I went into a reverse world in a sense, because I was standing on top of the massage table. Oh, because yeah, we do our healings on massage tables. And so I was standing on top of the massage table, and I was looking directly into a mirror. Now, I had no fear at the time because, I knew that I was all light, love, and, one with the universe. And I am, like there's very strong concepts that you can develop within yourself because I'd been developing that for quite a while. By this point, I was 20 years old, I think. Yeah, around then, 19, 20. And probably younger, honestly, but irrelevant. And from there, I looked at myself in the mirror, and it was just me without clothes on, just a light body, just a glowing auric body. It was slightly transparent, but not completely transparent. It was just me. You know, got all my appendages, my legs, hands, fingers, toes, all that good stuff. And yeah, as I was out of my body, did a quick scan around the room, saw my mum doing the healing behind me. I saw the table to my right, saw the wall to my left with all our pictures and qualifications on there, and um, yeah, from there I decided to have a bit of fun, since I knew that I was the creator of all that is, because being perception, that's a big awareness to have, and it's fun. It's a fun awareness to have, and so I decided to play. So from that moment on, everything around me quite literally dissipated like into little molecules and little atoms and just like grains of sand. The walls just went down into nothingness. And then that nothingness turned into quite literally just a flat plane of dirt, really. Like it was just a flat plane of dirt. It just went on for as far as the eye could see. And then I turned around. I could feel the wind on my face. I'm like, oh, this is a nice sensation. I'm liking this. So what else is going on? So yeah, so I've turned around and I feel that wind and I look down and there's actually like a escarpment. It's like an escarpment, definitely. So I'm looking over a cliff and I can see all these clouds down there. It's looking a little foreboding, like there's not really anything that's giving me any signs that, I should jump into it. So naturally I kind of Geronimo'd and just went straight for it, just fell straight off the edge. I didn't jump, I fell, like I leant forward and just felt the sensation of falling. And from there, I was off the cliff and I started to head towards the clouds and I was getting quicker and quicker and quicker, naturally, just in your mind, gravity, perception, momentum, And I started to burst through the clouds. The feelings of the clouds upon my face I will never forget. I could straight up feel the condensation of like all the water, all the water. It's fantastic. It's just, I'm sure if you've been skydiving, you'd know what that feels like. I personally haven't, but I know what it feels like. And yeah. So I was falling through the clouds for a couple seconds. It wasn't a long experience in the clouds. And as I came out the other side of the clouds, I saw this massive, massive rainforest. It was amazing. Like, I've personally been to a lot of rainforests within my lifespan, and so I know what they're like. I've got a lot of experience since I'm from New Zealand. I definitely know what my rainforests are. And this one was like nothing I'd ever seen. The trees were massive. The trees were like 3 times the size of what one would expect in a regular old rainforest. And so from there, I just got excited and I just decided to fly through it all because of all the greenery, the colors, just the greens, the color green, the levels of contrast that was within that was just phenomenal. I've never experienced anything like that. But within those greens, you get your spots of purples, your yellows, your oranges. What else? Yeah, honestly, that was pretty much the majority of it. Your purple, because there were trees with purple leaves. Oh, I love that one. That was really cool. And so I'm flying through this rainforest, and like there's a lot of valleys and all that sort of stuff. What you would expect when you're going through like an Amazon sort of rainforest, but to a larger scale. Like you've got your hilly sort of areas with your rises and your falls. So what I was doing is I was flying through the valleys and I was going through all these different trees, all these loops, and yeah, all these roots in loops. It's pretty fantastic. I smacked through a couple of the branches, but being a light body, I just went straight through it. I didn't have any worry about it. It felt interesting. I wouldn't say good, but interesting. It's a different feeling. And so yeah, after I had decided to be done with it all, oh no, actually, before that, I came across this massive waterfall. It was really big, biggest waterfall I've ever seen. Straight up, like I would give it. I'm hearing 40 feet. I reckon it'd be about 40 feet. It was huge. It wasn't like Niagara Falls where it's just a constant bucketing of water. It was like a stream. Like I wish I had a drawing of it. Maybe in the future. And so yeah, I went and put my hand in the stream. It was beautiful, nice cool water. It's perfect. I didn't need to drink it. I didn't feel the need to. So I just flew up. I had enough. I was done with the rainforest. Like, okay, this was cool. I've had fun. Thank you very much. What's next? And then it all dissipated again. Like I said, like I had said earlier, it all just dissipated. Like the molecules coming down like sand. And from there, I was back in the nothingness. I looked around. Like this, when I'm in the nothingness, it's like moments, not like times, not a large time span. Like it's quite literally like 1 or 2 breaths. And then I was in the desert. So I was surrounded by all these sand dunes, and they were pretty decent sand dunes, what I would expect for, like the Sahara or whatever, from what I've seen in movies. I personally haven't been to a desert, but, each their own, so I decided to have a bit of a look around. So I'm flying through all these different areas, I'm just looking at all the sand dunes, the peaks, the falls, the valleys, all that. I wasn't really excited by it, just kind of so-so. I mean, you can only look at sand for so long and be interested in it, right? And then from there, I landed down on the ground in this sort of opening area where it was a bit flat and there wasn't so much sand, like it was a bit rocky in that sort of area. There wasn't life, there wasn't any cactuses, there wasn't anything, it's just sand. And so I just, okay, alright, well, what next? What else can I do? So I know that I'm here, I know that anything's possible, what do I want to do? And I just looked straight up, I just looked straight up, like, okay, yep, that's it. And I flew up, I just flew up like there was no hesitation, no holding back. I was just going as hard as I could, just and I could see the levels of the atmosphere, so that shows me that conceptually I was on a planet. So I was going through the levels of the atmosphere. I could see it starting to thin out, instead of it being like this nice blue color from what I would have expected, into a nicer, darker purple, into a darker, just darkness, darker, yeah, darker, and I was pretty happy about that. Feeling the absolute nothingness of space was good. It was a nice sensation, but it wasn't exactly nothingness. It felt more viscousy, but that's for later. And so naturally I turned around, looked at the planet. Yep, beautiful blue marble, what I would have expected. Absolutely picturesque, loved it. And I was pretty happy about that. I was looking there, I'm like, yep, that's a lovely Earth. Oh, that's a lovely planet. I'm liking that. And I just had that feeling that something was looking at me. So I just turned around, just did a complete 180. And I saw this guy standing there. Well, floating, in no space, whatever. He's just floating there. He's just outline of a guy. He's not too far off in the distance, but he's just far enough that I can't quite see details. So we moved towards each other. Now, we moved towards each other. It wasn't me going towards him or him coming towards me. We both decided to meet each other up. And then as he was getting closer, I noticed that he wasn't human. Now, this didn't freak me out because, as previously explained in one of my other videos, I've seen a few things in my life, so whatever happens, whatever happens, happens. We are all the beings of this existence, just in different forms. We're all just different information fields. So to get uppity about who's this and who's not that and what's what is just pointless. But regardless, so I was looking at this guy. He was blue. Okay, so he's about the same height as me, blue. He had a big forehead. It was flat in place, but came up to a peak in a crevice and went round to the back of his head. And then he had yellow eyes. It was nice, beautiful eyes. Like it wasn't. I didn't feel intimidated by them. They were just beautiful. Like they had a lot of, almost like jewels. Honestly, they were radiating as well. There was light coming off them. But I don't care. I have no judgments. And so from his blue head, he's actually had some tentacles coming off. Tassadar is the word I'm hearing. That wasn't his name, but the character Tassadar off of StarCraft. He looked similar to that character. And he had, nice big broad shoulders. He had a Greek sort of looking skirt. I don't know if they're called skirts, but he had a Greek looking skirt on, and it was just feet and hands. Nothing too unexpected. He had normal male torso and all that. And we didn't speak any language. There was no language being spoken. It was all telecommunication. So as he approached me, he's like, "It's okay. No fear. Do not fear. Hello." I'm like, "Oh, hello, mate. How are you?" He's like, "What's going on? It's good to see you." And then from there, as we made contact, I can't remember exactly what was said. In the moment, you lose yourself. And so we're talking for a little bit. It wasn't long. We didn't need long because it just felt like we were brothers. We just like that straight away. There was no worries at all. And from there, we decided to actually, yeah, he posed to me a race. And I'm like, okay, all right, you want a race? Like, yeah, where are we going? where do you want to race to? And so from there, he's like, okay, how about we go home? I'm like, oh. Yeah, okay, I can do that. I'd love to go home. Why not? Let's have fun. Where's home? And he's like, okay, all right. Let's just go. All right, so boof, like there was no hesitation. Like two brothers would. It's like race, yeah, all right, poof, straight away. And I'm chasing him, and I'm following, and we're going as fast as we can. It was very much like when you see a jet go through the sound barrier, and you see that little sonic boom that comes after them. Is like I saw that on him, and then I saw that on me. So that, in my mind, conceptually told me that we were going super fast, faster than I would even have thought that I could have gone. But being aware of that there is no time or space, and it's all just in our heads because all is mind, I knew that it wasn't a big deal. So I was just going for it. I was gunning it. I was loving it. It was a lot of fun. And so we're flying for like, I'd say a minute. Say a minute. Not even two. 1 minute. And then I'm starting to see this planet off in the distance, and it's purple. And it's got like this bit of a mist around it in its atmosphere. So not what you would expect of just like a circular sort of solid looking mass, and then from there there's like a bubble around it. It was like a mist around it. So that was different. So I just flew straight to it, no hesitation. Saw him go through the clouds, so I followed him. Followed him straight there. There's all these cities and stuff on there, skyscrapers, but not like our like box skyscrapers where they're just 4 points and they're just boring. They weren't like that. They're pretty much what you would expect from an ancient advanced civilization. So there are a lot of curves and angles and spirals and all those different sort of shapes that you would expect from a sci-fi sort of movie. And so naturally he landed before me, and so I was just poof, I was a couple seconds behind him. And then he turns to me, he goes like, "Beat you again, mate." I'm like, "Ah." And then he put his hand on my shoulder and we laughed, and Oh, and there's a lot of joy feeling, a lot of nice sensations. So he put his hand on my shoulder and boom, I was back in my body. And I was gone for about 30 minutes. 30 minutes in this reality and what we're in now. So it wasn't very long, but it felt like, I'd say an hour. An hour. Didn't feel too long. Not like I'd been out for lifetimes, but a decent amount of time. I definitely enjoyed myself. But yeah, that's my experience of my first conscious astral projection. And I hope that this might have helped you in some form, whoever I'm talking to. Or if you just simply enjoyed the story, came along for the ride. Regardless, I hope you have a fantastic day, and it was great talking to you. Love and light, catch you out.